So this is Baljet. We are on our way to the airport in Madrid, where we will soon after be going to Morocco. Have you been to Morocco before?
No, first time.
How are you feeling about it?
Excited!
Alright, here we go. We started like running and like Baljet grabbed me, like holy shit, and then the cops would pull up. We are in the freaking Sahara. We literally just saw a dude get run over by a car in the middle of the road. They're laughing at us. And I think this is one of the coolest experiences I've ever had in my entire life. Okay, we found it?
We found it. We went to...
So we're here looking for our hostel, and the address is 15 Der Banani. So here's 15, and we just got dropped off by the taxi guy.
We go up or down?
I think down, right?
It's this, right?
Yeah.
Reservation?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
Thank you. Who cooked it? Who's the chef?
Me.
Okay. So, how was Morocco? Woo-wee! Woo! Morocco was awesome. It was awesome, but it was scary. Usually it's pretty easy for me to be like straightforward and just say like, it was amazing, the time of my life, it blew my freaking brains out all over the floor because it was so wonderful. Morocco was amazing, but it was like really, really different than I expected. Our first city that we went to was Fez. Fez has the highest crime rate in Morocco. It's very rich culturally speaking. For me, it was so rich, it was like eggnog. The way eggnog is rich, it's like, that was cool. I'm glad I experienced it. I don't know how many more times in a row I could do that. Now, there's this thing that we heard before we got to Fez, which was, you shouldn't be out after dark in Fez. So during the day, it's little kids screaming around, riding bicycles, and blah, blah, shouting, and when it gets dark, everyone just disappears. Deadly quiet. And the whole city has this weird orange-tinted glow to it, which is a bit offsetting.
No, now we're going up there. Are you joking me?
Not a huge fan of what's happening. Okay, so we've been wandering around now for an hour, and it is definitely out after dark. Eerily, the streets that 30 minutes ago were like bustling with people, everything is just abandoned. And we just got chased by this stray dog, and the dog came running out after us. We started like running, and like Baljet grabbed me, like holy shit, and then the cops pull up, woo, 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 and like corner the dog with their thing. So anyway, so we are now wandering lost. We finally freaking got home, and eventually this guy walked by and he's like, don't want to get in your tourist business, but you need help.
Well, he had a British accent.
Okay, well, he had a British accent. But anyway, the streets were jam-packed. Every 5 feet, there's a different vendor. One person selling jewelry, the next person is selling exotic turtles, the next person is selling some kind of like black olive soap.
Hey.
It's Baljet over there. I asked her to take a picture of me. We're in an old mosque close to the tannery in Fez. We don't know where we are, so we've been following this Chinese tour group, just trying to blend in, trying to look as Asiatic as possible. Now we found a lovely, quiet little restaurant where we're eating, collecting ourselves, and I think after this we might go back to the hostel. All morning we've been looking for the tannery. It was pretty intense. It took us 2 hours to find it, and the city's small. Like, it was a mile walk, but the streets are so thin and condensed, and the shops are so packed together. Like, there's white stone wall, 20 feet upwards on every street. So once you enter into this marketplace, it's like, literally, you can't get out. You just can't. It took us 2 hours to walk 1 mile. So we only ended up staying in Fez for like 2 days. And after that, Baljet and I decided to take a trip to the Sahara Desert, which ended up being one of my absolute favorite moments of my entire life. We were going to finally get to Merzouga, which is the place where the resort was, and the car in front of us, we hear this loud screech. God, dude.
No, but that wasn't, I don't know if that was the same one that ran it.
And this extremely dramatic, like, explosion in front of us, and we look, and the van in front of us is bouncing up and down like a pogo stick, and clouds of dust, and we just see this body get thrown to the side. This just kind of, like, characterized the trip to Morocco, because it was so, like, sensory overload. All of this in like 4 days. It was transformative, I'm sure, in the long run, and I'm sure that's what I'll be telling to my therapist when I go home. So they call this the Grand Canyon of Morocco. This is my group up here. The first day in Merzouga, we just hung out at the hotel and ate super nice dinner, drank delicious Moroccan tea, which is infused with mint and other kind of herbs, and they pour it from really high up so that they do this so it gets this nice frothy head on it. So, we drove 7 hours to get here. We're finally... I'm here with my German friends, Chrissy and Vicky.
The Germans?
Oh, you can't even see them. Okay, that's better. Chrissy and Vicky, and we just shared a oh, it's not here anymore. A tangine, which is chicken and fries.
Tagine.
We have about 3 hours left until the camel ride starts. Well, just freaking out. It's so fun when they stand up. I'm gonna get you while we're in the wilderness. It's about 7:15, and I'm trying to describe it because the catching it on film kind of makes it one-dimensional flat a little bit, but the colors are so rich. It's absolutely incredible. Anyway, this is one of the coolest moments. Vicky! They're laughing at us. Oh gosh. And we just went to our camp. It's called Moda Camp Merzouga. I don't know what that means in Arabic.
Oh, there's a place to sit? Yeah. So the 6 beds there is for them. Cheers to our night.
So we walked out in the Sahara, went to another Berber camp where they were all playing their instruments. And they're all sitting around doing their drums and like chanting. They invited us to join in, and I tried to take footage of it, but it was quite dark. We just arrived in Marrakesh. We took in order to get to Marrakesh, it was supposed to take us 7 to 8 hours. Our first taxi driver literally stopped 7 times in 5 hours. And like, he was just stopping to like check his mail, and then we stopped in another city so he could go buy groceries for one of his family members, and then like to have a coffee, and it's like, dude, seriously? So eventually, halfway through the journey, 5 hours in, he drops us off with another taxi. So we're here with the Germans.
The Germans.
We're pretty tired. So it's just our first night here. We're gonna go crash early, and then tomorrow go see the city and book a different hostel and all that jazz. The last day in the Sahara, I got a water bottle full of sand so I could take it and put it in little trinkets that I was gonna buy for my journey, bring it for my family, for my friends. On the way home, somewhere along the line, I forgot it. And I was like so devastated because I have no idea when the next time that I'm gonna go back to the Sahara is. Hey, remind me, I wanna get a big bottle of sand before I go tomorrow. So you cannot imagine my disappointment when I reached the hostel in Marrakesh. I'm sitting there on my bed and I'm physically just hanging my head, looking down like, I'm just so sad because this is one of the most cool trips I'd ever taken. And then Baljet made the suggestion, How about we all dump the sand out of our socks and sandals and our duffel bags and see if we can't get some? I spent a lot of time like thinking about how I was gonna collect sand from the desert and like what I was gonna put it in. It was gonna be enough for everybody, and then we had to switch taxis twice on the way here, and we had so many bags and I forgot my bottle of sand, and now we're 12 hours away from the desert. But we were able to collect some sand from all of our shoes, so I think that's going to be enough to put in a bottle. So that I got like really, really sad for a second, and now I'm feeling happy. Let's see if it works. Is it going to spill? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's okay. Wow, that's actually a lot of sand.
Yay.
Can you see it? I'm so happy. So here it is. These are the bottles of sand. So that was like instantly one of the most disappointing things, and then one of the most redemptive things that I've experienced in a long, long time. So Marrakesh was my favorite, I think overall Marrakesh was my favorite city that we visited in Morocco. That was the final leg of our trip. The market was absolutely beautiful at night. So we are at the top of the city center in Marrakesh. You had to pay $1.50 basically for the Moroccan tea, but the view up here is just freaking amazing. And finally, on our way home, we said goodbye to our German friends, and Baljet and I got our flight the next morning, and we went to the Canary Islands. Thank you for watching. I'm Josh. Like and subscribe to the channel. See you soon.
No, I couldn't quite locate